When you open up your new brokerage account, you'll receive one free stock valued anywhere from $2.50 to $250. And when you make that initial deposit of $100 or more, you'll receive another free stock, and this free stock will be valued anywhere from $8 to $1,600. Lastly, cryptocurrency is now available on WeBull, so you can trade cryptocurrency on the platform with zero commissions. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Courtside Financial. I have a special guest here today, Rich from Rich Action, the YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about a few things in regards to becoming a notary. I feel like so much more important than investing is your biggest wealth building tool, right? So your income. So if there's anything that I can expose you guys to or get some information on and just put it out there for you guys to be able to learn new hustles or new things you can do to be able to increase your income, to also increase your investments, and that's what I want to do. So without further ado, here's our guest, Rich.
What's up, OB crew? What's up, Rich crew?
Doing really good today, man. It's great to be here. Good to have you on today. So does 45 minutes still work for you to talk about a few things?
Definitely.
Cool. So we're just going to get straight into it. I've seen you post a lot of good content on your channel in regards to investing, in regards to being a notary. Kind of what made you want to get started in the financial space on YouTube?
Well, I wanted to get in the financial space on YouTube because I grew up not dirt poor, but near dirt poor. So I always wanted to know how to make money, how to use money, how to manage money. And as I was learning it, I realized that a lot of people, they just don't have this sort of skill set, and nobody's there to teach them because we just don't learn this in school. So then I started YouTube, the Rich Action, and I started investing in stocks. And then I came across your channel, and both of us was doing NIO work. So I was like, okay, let me do NIO work. Let's see what Obi's doing too. And you actually propelled me to keep pushing in my channel. So I just wanted to thank you and your audience for having me today.
Oh, man, thank you. I remember you were one of the first people to invest in NIO. Time went on. A bunch of other people started popping up out of nowhere, and you kind of stay consistent. But I also see that you've kind of diversified your content a bit into just not exactly only talking about NIO stock, but talking about other stocks, talking about crypto, talking about being a notary. So what sparked your decision to do that?
At the end of the day, you can have a regular job and so forth like that, but you have to build some sort of side hustle. You have to build some sort of plan B. And notary work to me was like a no-brainer. I'm a real estate agent also in the state of New York. And with real estate, it takes a while for you to get your commission checks. It can take 2-3 months. It can take a month even, sometimes less. But with notary work, that's consistent work that you can do literally every day. $100 per appointment, and you can literally make $5,000 to $10,000 sometimes a week or even a month if you're doing it a little bit slower. Some people that I've seen people make, what was the most? I think $2,000 or $3,000 in 1 week from notary work, and I've seen as high as $8,000 to $10,000. And one thing about notary work is that anybody can do it. There's no barrier to get in. There's no, you have to have a PhD or a BA or anything like that. A normal person that's working at a fast food joint and wants something better out their lives, they can go take a notary test if it's required in their state, or just go and get their notary license, do a little training, look at a few YouTubes, and they can make a great income and a full-time job if they decided to do this full-time.
So as far as exactly what a notary is, I feel like a lot of the people in my audience base are younger too, and they won't exactly understand what it is. So could you explain that to them?
Yeah. A notary basically is a representative of the state that you're in. So I'm in New York State. Everybody attributes notary work to basically signing the $2 document and then stamping, and it's that's it. So I had that same preconception when I first started, but then I closed on my house, and I had a condo. So I bought a condo, and one of the people that were at the closing was a notary. but they call themselves loan signing agents because of the different qualifications that they have. And I looked at my disclosure closing in terms of how much everything was going to be. And I saw that the notary was getting paid $150 for that particular closing.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, how did you get this position? And she's like, oh, I'm just a notary. And I made different connections throughout the industry in which it allows me to come and do signings for loan closings for real estate. And I was like, and you just have your notary license? At the time, she was a paralegal too, but the only thing that you needed was your notary license. And she was able to do that type of work. And that's just one facet of notary work in which you can get paid anywhere between $75 to $200 in New York City, to $250 in New York City for a closing. There's different particular industries for notaries to also go into where you can make anywhere between $50 to $150 per appointment. And that takes like 1 hour.
So which industry, as far as like notary, are you in specifically? Are you doing closings?
Yeah. So right now notary work is my side hustle. I try to focus on YouTube a little bit more, but I focus on the good thing about it is that you can pick any industry and it's on your own time, right? So I focus more on loan signings because that's where the money is, but I'm finding that I value my time. And to be honest, I'm a little lazy.
We all are at times.
So I like to do appointments that fit my schedule and when I want to do it. And that's what notary allows me to do. So I've been doing more of loan documents in terms of if somebody needs to take out a loan or take all of their debts and consolidate it, those $50 jobs, and basically do those because it's easier. All I do is I present the information in front of them in terms of what their interest rate would be, what their loans are consolidating into for this private company. And then I run them through a quick presentation and I have them sign on the dotted line. And that's an extra $50 to $100 in my pocket. And I walk away.
So doing something like that, would you say you have to really like do it at volume or do a lot of them to really have it be something that's like lucrative for you and really make it worth it?
Great question. So let's break down the math because I'm always a numbers guy. Yeah. If you're working at like say a supermarket, minimum wage, let's say $10 an hour, right? And you're working 8 hours a week, that's $80. 80 times 5, that's what, $400 a week, right? So you just made $400 a week busting your butt at a 40-hour job. Not saying that supermarket jobs aren't good. Definitely they are.
Nothing wrong with those.
You know? But if you do 2 of those debt consolidation appointments per day for that same 5-hour period, that's $500. And you only work 2 hours a day instead of working 8 hours every day. Like sometimes it's backbreaking work for certain individuals in supermarkets and other places.
Yeah, I used to work at what's it, Sam's Club before, so I know exactly how it is. You know,
picking up boxes,
pushing carts, picking up boxes, staying late
those
hours.
Boxes are not light,
not at all. So, you know, for me personally, you know, figuring out a way to do something where I'm making like a good use of my time, but then also still being able to make enough money to like not necessarily sustain myself, because I feel like, you know, I would need more than just I would have to work like way overtime if I was working at like Walmart or Sam's Club to be able to like still get my bills paid and take care of everything. But having like a side hustle that actually is just makes sense and puts more time back into my day. And that's what this sounds like so far.
Yeah, because I still work my regular job and I can do this on a Saturday and Sunday and make an extra $400 or $500 that I can invest in NIO.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that money is going to make you money. So it's like you're just being more efficient with your time. You're being more efficient with your dollars. So
exactly,
that's really smart.
Yeah. And then there's different YouTubers like, do you mind me mentioning them?
No, go ahead.
Keenly Keena, Caleb Beaver, Jerome Nakeem, that have quit their regular jobs and they do this full time. I know that I've been watching some of Kayla's stuff. I think she just broke $10,000 a month last month. I know that Keena is doing amazing out of Virginia, and Jerome is just killing it, especially on YouTube.
So let me ask you this. What gave you the confidence to really like take that leap of faith into being a notary? Because I feel like with so many different things, there's all this information out there and you can never tell who's like really being genuine about it. Everyone says,
Mhm.
do this, follow the blueprint, you're gonna make this amount of money. And really it's like notary is one of those things that isn't really publicized as much. So kind of what gave you the confidence to like try it on and see if it would work out for you?
I love the fact that you said that it's not publicized, because whenever something is good, you never know about it. Somebody
That's
hides it
true.
from you.
That's
Notary
true.
was an untapped industry that nobody knew about. Nobody even thought that a notary can make $150 on one appointment. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Do the math again. If you do 5 appointments in one day, you do it consistently 5 days a week. That's 500 times five. What is that? 2,500 that you just made in that week.
Hmm.
Where did you learn that in high school that you can make $2,500 a week at a side gig or a part-time job? Nowhere. You don't know about it because nobody talks about it. So that's why I started talking about it on my YouTube, because I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Bed-Stuy, and what you don't know, you just don't know. And I wanted to relay that to not only my people, but to everybody out there struggling, especially during the vid, because at the end of the day, if I can make money, and especially in the street or on the stocks or on YouTube, right? But I want everybody else to be making money, because it gets lonely when you're the only one doing well, and you look around and you're saying, what did I contribute to everybody else? So
Hmm.
this was a perfect side hustle, because I was doing TaskRabbit too, but this was a perfect side hustle or a perfect career that somebody that's 18, 19, 20, or even older can take, run with, and build a future where they don't have to work a 9 to 5 job like we did, where they can just
Hmm.
basically do whatever the heck they want to in life because they're making at least 1,000 to 1,500 a week, and they're getting their time back. So
Yes.
that's what made me do it. And nobody was talking about it. So I was like, how is nobody talking about this?
Yeah, I didn't know it existed until I started watching some of your videos. I was like,
Mhm.
because
You watch
like
my
you said,
videos,
we were,
man?
yeah, man.
Oh, only
I
watch my
commented on I
videos.
commented on a few of them
uh,
because in the beginning we were both talking about Neo, so I'm like, let me see what this guy's saying about Neo. So I watched your Neo videos, and then I saw that you started to post like the notary stuff. You did a few
Mhm.
interviews with people, and then I was like, this is actually interesting. Like we should have a conversation about this and really like spread the word so that more people who might be interested could kind of get involved with it that way.
Yeah, and most of the time when I hear people, like I talk to people about real estate or investments and stocks and so forth, they don't have the money to do it. So I can talk
Hmm.
to about Neo all day. I can talk about Palantir all day. I can talk about CCIV all day. I can talk about Nano Dimension all day. However, if you don't got the money to invest in it, it means nothing. So that's
Hmm.
why this notary career, this side hustle, this gig, whatever you want to call it, it provided a new way for people to make money to invest. And so it was like a perfect combination. Let me make my channel about finance, about side hustles, about real estate, because it brings it all together. You make your money, you invest it, you buy a nice piece of property, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, that's why at the beginning of this conversation, I even said I feel like the most important thing, more important than anything that anyone invests in, is their biggest wealth building tool, which is their income. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you have gotten to the point where you have you have some money invested, I feel like the majority of people who succeed in the stock market are the people who continue to invest year after year after year
Yeah.
because it gives them a bigger like margin of safety. When stocks are going up and going down, you're basically dollar cost averaging in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a lot of people who want to buy like a stock one time and think they're going to get rich. And we both know that the market doesn't work like that. You have
Yeah.
to, there's a lot of things that you have to do, and you can't do any of those things without income. So, really big
Mm-hmm.
ups to you on just, shedding light on like another way that people can succeed out here because there's
Thanks,
a
man.
lot of people, no problem. There's a lot of people who, just feel like they're at a dead end and
Yeah.
there's no other way for them to move forward. So this is definitely really helpful. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say, like, I want to ask you, what's like the first steps for somebody who knows absolutely nothing, but they took interest in this video and they want to get started in that profession.
Shameless plug. Watch my videos on how to become a notary.
Because I don't know anything about it. I'm learning with you guys.
First thing that you should do is see what the qualifications in your state are, right? Some states, they require that you take a test. Some states require that you just walk in and you can get your notary license. So see what the requirements. Go to your local Department of State and then or go to Google, type in Department of State for the state that you live in, and then go to Notary. And then it'll give you a criteria of everything that you need. And what state do you live in? Or do you want to say? Or
Yeah, I live in Texas now. I just moved from Michigan.
Okay, so Texas, is Texas? I'm not too sure, but I think Texas is one of the easiest states to get your notary license compared to like New York. Texas, you could probably get your notary license within a month. New York, it takes like literally 3 months to get your notary license. So it depends on how eager you are, but that's the first step. Second step, look at different YouTubers. And the reason I say different YouTubers is because you might relate to some other YouTuber that's doing it a way that you like more. You might not necessarily like me. You might like Jerome. You might like Kina. You might like A3F Notary. You might like Caleb Beaver. All of us provide different content, but we're providing the same message to take control of your life. And then third, most important, take action. If you don't take action, all of the words that me and OB right now are spitting are worthless at the end of the day. So you got to take action. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing ever happens without execution. So take action is really big. So you mentioned that you also have your real estate agent and you are a notary at the same time. I want to ask, like, which profession do you prefer? Like, if you could only go with one, which one would it be? And then do both of them kind of feed into each other and help you out in any aspect?
Yeah. So I was talking to Victor Chambers. He's I'm not going to say he's a friend, but he's a good friend. He's also a real estate agent out in New Jersey, and he's a loan signing agent. If you haven't, check out his channel. It's all about sharing knowledge. We discussed this and we said that real estate and loan signing go hand in hand. Why? Because you're associating with the same people. And in order to do loan signing, you have to sign up for different loan signing companies, right? And they send you jobs. You pick the jobs that you want to do because it's on your own time. And then you go and you do the job. And at a lot of these jobs, you're meeting the same loan officers. You're meeting the same real estate agents that you deal with on a normal day. It's just that with loan signing, it's more of a steady check. And then your real estate, when you close a transaction, that's more of a bonus. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's more of a consistent like flow of cash for you with being a notary, and then real estate is just you're kind of waiting on the build up month to month or whenever those deals close.
Yeah, because there might be a deal that you're trying to do and it doesn't come through for like 6 months. So you can't not feed your kids for 6 months. So you need something in between, and loan signing puts that cushion, puts that safety net right then and there, so that you can just be like, okay, I'm good. I just made 1,000 this week, or I can work harder next week and make 3,000. And then I can just rest for the rest of the month, and I could do real estate on the side.
Okay. So, and then like I know a lot of people who like go bad in real estate is because number one, like they're either not closing enough deals, or they make a lot of money on one deal, but then they think it's always going to come in like that, and they don't really provision their money. So this kind of sounds like it'll be something to kind of help you out. And like for people who are thinking of getting involved in real estate, this will also be kind of like a safety net for you. What's your take on that?
100%. Real estate is not $1 million listing. There's a lot of people that I know that I took classes with that are out the game right now. And real estate is a hard industry, especially if you're doing it part-time and then you're not pushing it. Like if I were to push real estate the way that I know that I can, I would not be at my 9 to 5 right now. You know what I'm saying? I would be able to I would probably cake. I'd probably be making at least 20 to 30,000 a month. Tell you the truth, and that's good. However, I live in New York, So the prices of houses are like
Yeah.
600,000 for a 1-bedroom condo. So it's
Yeah.
easier for me. If you're living in Texas, a house out there is like 300 grand. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the percentage of what you get is totally different. And that's why I say this is not $1 million listing, because one, the house values across across the country are different. And then two, you're not closing houses every month. You're not closing houses every 3 months. You're not closing houses sometimes for a year. Some people. So you have to have some sort of side hustle, and loan signing, being a notary, it's like a perfect mesh, literally perfect mesh.
And
Yeah.
even those markets with like the super high comps like New York, you hear
Mm.
oftentimes that people should just go move to like Beverly Hills or LA so that they can sell a more expensive house. But wouldn't you say like those markets are like a lot more competitive, and they take like an experienced real estate agent, somebody who really knows the area, and people look to people with experience for when they're buying properties?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. If you're a new agent and you have good charisma, you have good valor behind you in terms of your confidence, you can kill the market, right? But you'll always have to be competing with established realtors out there that already have their names, that have the groundwork, that have billboards up. So especially if you go to some place like LA and you're trying to sell houses or get a sales agreement in Beverly Hills, nobody knows who you are. They're not going
Yeah.
to pick you.
Yeah.
So you're going to be working around the clock trying to establish yourself and get nowhere. So moving to a different state really doesn't work. You want to establish yourself where you are right now, build your following either on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, right? And so when you move to a different state, if you choose real estate, you have a following. They know who you are now, because you're now in that area with that following coming from Texas, coming from Nebraska, coming from New York City. You get what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
then if you're struggling with times are hard, become a notary loan signing agent, you know? And yeah, you make that money while you're establishing yourself as a serious real estate agent in that area. But one
Yeah.
thing I want to say, learn your craft. Whatever you do, real estate, loan signing, notary work, learn your craft and then do it to the fullest.
It's definitely all a process and like whatever you do. So as far as
Mhm.
like the notary thing, how long did it take you to like pick up the game and like really hit the ground running?
It took me a while because I started doing notary, like learning about it and so forth like that when I did my condo, but then I kind of dropped off because I was like, oh, maybe I can't do it in New York City, because it required, with notary work, loan signing agents, you have to have an attorney present when you're there closing. So 9 times out of 10, the attorney would have to hire you. So I thought that I couldn't do it because I don't know nobody, the attorneys or anything like that. They'll get their
Mm.
paralegal to do it. Wasn't true. So in October, I took my test. And like I said, in New York, it literally takes you, it took me 2 weeks to get my results back. It took me a month to get the application in the mail so I can apply to be a notary. Then it took me another month to get that I was official notary in the state of New York, and it took me like another 2 to 3 weeks to get my card, my notary card. So from October to like the second week of January, I couldn't do anything, right? But that's the state that you live in. In
Mhm.
Virginia, I know you can get your notary license in like a week. You can just walk in, come out, you're a notary. New
Yeah.
York, it's different. So you got to look at the Department of State and see what the qualifications are. And if it's easy, I would say definitely get your notary license. It's good to just have, just in case you ever lose your job, you have something to fall back on. And you could be like, okay, up and running. Or if you want to take it as a side hustle, like I am, make that money when you can. Or if you want to take this as a career so that you could leave your job, go hard. So yeah.
So as far as 2020 and the pandemic with everyone being forced to quarantine, stuck in their house, social distancing. How did your notary career, like, or your side hustle, how did that work during the whole pandemic and everything going on in 2020?
Yeah. So what they did is they allowed notaries to actually do virtual notifications through DocuSign, through Zoom, and so forth like that. So for me, I wasn't a notary as of yet because I had to go and take the test, and I couldn't. But for established notaries that were already notaries, they were banking because
Just
now
doing it from home.
they were doing it from home. Think about it. Before you had to go to somebody's house and you had to physically go there. Now you can go on Zoom and then just collect $50 to $100 by doing a virtual signing for like 3 or 4 documents. Because technically, it's still, this is traveling. So the people were making $50 an hour. I mean, $50 per Zoom meeting, and some people were probably making like $1,000, $2,000 in a day, because you squeeze in enough signings, you're making money. And think about it. Everybody that wanted to get married during the pandemic, that just wanted to just do it through the state, those are all notaries that needed to sign those paperworks and to identify who that person was. And they were getting paid probably $50 to $100 per Zoom meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I work in the tech industry, and work from home is a trend that at work we say all the time. When I'm reading up on stocks, we say all the time, is a trend that's here to stay and not really going anywhere. Seeing that the business model of being a notary was able to function in 2020 with people working from home, is that something that you feel like is here to stay for the future? Or do you feel like once everything opens back up again, it'll start getting back to normal? Or has it already gotten back to normal?
In some states, I think it's here to stay, but New York is just a different beast because you have so many strong personalities. So even though that they had it that you can do virtual notifications during the pandemic, that was just an emergency thing. In order for it to become law, they'll have to pass a bill. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I would say whatever state that you're in, advocate for it, because even though it's an easier way of collecting a check, it's a way of collecting a check. You get what I'm saying? And what I was going to from the beginning, notary work is not just loan signing. Notary work is doing traveling notary work. RON services, remote online notary, that's what it's called. It's going to funeral parlors to sign documents. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of different parts of notary. It's field inspection. I have like 5 or 6 companies that call me up literally every day, asking me to go to a local business that's been shut down that somebody else wants to open, and take pictures, like 3 to 4 pictures of that place, and then just upload it to them. And I get paid $30 to $50 just for doing that because I'm a notary. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to pivot the conversation to stocks, because I know you talk about stocks, or not even stocks, but just investing a lot. So first, to kick things off, how do you feel about what's going on in the market today? I've got a lot of texts today, a lot of people DMing me on Instagram, all that stuff, just saying like, why am I even in the stock market? So how do you feel about what's going on in the market, and what's your take on it?
You have to be able to ride these waves. Like, I've made, you've seen my videos. I've literally made last year up until January 115,000, mainly because of NIO, within the span of like 7 months. I had like 3 other, but my main portfolio was NIO. And then when it took that crash from I think it was 62, 64, all the way down to, it went down to like 42, 43. I lost literally $60,000 because I took out my shares and I put it into a contract because I thought it was going to continue and going up after NIO Day. And I literally lost like 60 grand and I was devastated, right? You have to be able to deal with the ups and downs of this market. This past week has been like a bloodbath, everything red. And if you're a long-term investor, it doesn't matter because stocks that I mentioned before, PLTR, CCIV, NIO, These are the next gen companies that's going to make a lot. These are your Fords, your Apples, your Amazons of this time. In 5 years, it won't matter because these stocks will be above $100 a share. I guarantee that, number one. But you have to be able to have that faith. For my day traders out there, good luck. I would definitely say stop day trading, get a few stocks, especially if you have over 25,000, and buy and hold until this market recovers. Because I see this, it's not recovering probably for another month or two, if not longer.
So do you do any trading at all, shorter term trading?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Because when I day trade, I lose, right? So you have to understand what type of trader you are. I've seen my growth in terms of being able to hold good positions and picking good companies and seeing that growth over a 3 to 5 month span, right? Mm-hmm. When I day trade, unless I'm doing crypto, I suck. Why? Because there's too much news coming out. There's too many bigger players coming out. There's too much volatility. It's too many manipulations in stocks. So when I day trade, unless I know all that information, and like I said, I do notary work. I have a regular 9 to 5 job. I do my YouTube and I trade stocks. I just don't have time to look at all that information and all that data and do all of that technical analysis. That's why I buy and I hold. Everybody that you've told to buy NIO, everybody that I've told to buy Carnival Cruise Lines, Norwegian, American Airlines back in last May has made money. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they bought and they held, right? Now the next thing is crypto. Yeah. I made at the top I was up 30 grand with Doge, right? I didn't get out in time, so I was only up like 15 grand. I took all that money out just now and I put that into my savings. I replenished all my savings accounts and so forth like that, paid my taxes off. The reason I did that is because I needed a hard reset. You get what I'm saying? The only stock that I have right now is Nano Dimension. I got like 4 grand in there, and the rest I have in my crypto because I see that crypto compared to the stock market right now is going to be really more where I can build that wealth back up rather than rely on some stocks right now. And when I build that wealth back up, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy NIO, Palantir, CCIV, Nano Dimension. Because those are
so
steady.
It's more of a like swing it back into the stock market, but you're in crypto right now because you think that's going to be more immediate growth.
Definitely. Yes. And with crypto, it's easier to day trade because you like take, for instance, Doge. If you look at it right now, without all of the news from Elon, it's going between 42 cents a coin to like 51 cents. If it keeps doing that and you keep buying low and then selling when it gets to 50, guess what? You can make 3 to 4 grand every time you do that, or even $300, $400 extra every time you do that, and do that 4 or 5 times a week. You just made a good 2,000 on your money. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So crypto to me is easier to day trade.
So I definitely agree with you on day trading can be very challenging. Mm-hmm. I typically don't day trade at all. I invest long term, and that's where I've seen most of my growth in the market. But I do trade on shorter intervals. But the only way that I trade is through selling covered calls, because either way it works out, I'm going to end up profiting. Worst case, I have to get out of my position, and then I'll have to pay taxes because my cost basis was so low. But that's the only way I day trade. Not day trade, but trade. I've tried, day trading before. I've made money, and then I started to feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then I started losing money. So I just kind of cut that whole, day trading thing out and just understand that the people who make the most money in the stock market are the people with the most patience. Yes. And it seems like that's a concept that you also feel like is true.
100%. Because when you're irrational, you're emotional. And once again, that's why I took all my money out. You make stupid decisions, and you make irrational decisions in terms of, oh, let me just get back in this one time, and maybe I can get like 4 or 5 grand back up from what I lost. That's gambling. Once you start gambling in stocks or crypto, you lost. You lost because you have no control and you don't know when to get out.
The house always wins.
Yes.
So as far as like companies like fundamental wise, I know that the market isn't in the best place right now, but what companies do you see? I know you mentioned a few, but what would you say is like your top two investments for the next decade
I
or the
keep saying
next
the
5
same
to 10
thing.
years?
I keep saying the same thing. And I say this on my Discord all the time. I hammer it in, and I've probably said it like 6 or 5 times already, because I want to emphasize that whatever stock that you pick a stock that you love and you think is going to do well because you've seen the growth already. We see all these stocks that have hit $40, $50, $60, and they've gone down not because of the company, not because of the fundamentals, but because of the society in the United States right now in terms of what's going on economically, right? So if that outside influence is making the whole market go down, guess what's going to happen when things get better? The fundamentals of the company are still strong. The fundamentals of the company are still on top. You see that the company is profiting, right? So the stock is going to go up. And that's why I keep saying it. NIO, CCIV, Palantir. They just came up with their earnings. I think they were up 54% or something like that. And Nano Dimension, Kathy Wood, she keeps buying Nano Dimension. She knows something that we don't. She knows something that we don't. And all of those stocks right now are dirt cheap. Don't buy them when they go up 20%.
Yeah,
Buy
that's the
them on a
thing.
red
People
day.
will be like, people will tell you like it's too expensive, and now when it's cheap, why isn't it going up? It's like I feel like when I started doing like YouTube, I could start to see like people kind of like moving with the market instead of like taking a step back and saying, hey, this is cheap today. Like NIO is in the $30 range, and it could potentially be a over $100 stock, but then when it's $60, oh, this is getting too expensive to buy, and you shouldn't have been buying it at the top anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to just, and then I can also see, I don't know if you're seeing this at all, but like on my channel, when the stock market was just going crazy, like stocks were just flying up and going higher and higher every day, people would I would get a lot more views. A lot of people would more people would start like interacting with like the links that I put in the description and stuff. And I'm seeing that there's like a lack of confidence in the stock market these days, and not as many views and just not as much activity. So I feel like investors are kind of losing faith in the stock market right now in the short term. And to me, that says this is a time to like stay on your toes and start looking for deals and start, slowly buying and building positions in companies. But are you seeing any of that with like your social media as well?
So I got to learn from you, Obi. If you don't know, Obi surpassed me so fast. When I was at 400, he was at like 1,500 subscribers. I was like, how is he doing this? But I don't know. With financial education, I think that unless you make it creative or fun, like you do on your channel, you make it fun, right? The people are going to come to you. So on my channel, I'm not seeing a decrease. I'm seeing like the same people coming back, because those are the people that know, one, they trust me, and two, they're doing the right thing by just holding the stocks that they have and buying the dip, right? Stocks are not supposed to be fun. They're supposed to make you money at the end of the day. But the way that we deliver the information, and you do that amazingly, that's what keeps people coming back. And I see the same people coming back. But when I look at your channel, I see the comments. If you're seeing a decrease, you see a decrease. But I don't know. I think that you're killing it in the game. And I think that by what you're doing right now, especially with this interview, showing people how to generate wealth in order to push in those funds right now, since they're lower, is amazing. And I think that your social media is going to take off even more. I don't know. I look up to you.
And I wasn't saying it as in like, Oh, well, me, like people aren't watching anymore. I was just saying, probably 3 months ago, like videos used
Uh-huh.
to do like 3,000, 4,000, sometimes 6,000 views in a
Mm-hmm.
video. Like if you go back through my channel, now they do around like 1,000 views per video. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to see like, and then there's also this group of people on my channel who, they're always there. They tell me they've been watching me from day one, and we're all on the same page, and we're all in the Discord, like chatting every day. But to me, that's an indicator that people are losing confidence in the stock market. There's weak hands. People are about to start selling. And I know that eventually, the stock market's going to rip again, and people are going to come back, and they're going to fall in love with investing again, and everything's going to take off. But that just indicates to me that it might be buying time, because last year everyone was saying, buy Tesla stock, buy Tesla stock. You might have a friend of a friend of a friend who's never invested in the stock saying it's time to buy Tesla stock. You don't really hear that type of conversation going around anymore on the street.
True, true. I had Tesla when it was $25. I had around 500 shares when it first came out. I told everybody to buy it. Nobody believed me. I held it for about 2 years and it didn't do anything, and I wound up selling it.
Oh man.
But to go back to what you were saying, I think this is just my opinion. I don't think that it might be a contributing factor in terms of why people aren't those videos are going down and so forth like that, because people are
And then,
suffering right now.
not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
even like people bigger than me with like 70,000 subscribers, I'm seeing that they get less views as well.
Yeah, I'm about to hit on that. I don't think that it's the people getting weaker in terms of their hands and so forth like that 100%. I think that is because of the competition right now. Because every day you see a new YouTuber
That
pop
is
up.
true.
And it's like, where are these people coming from? Like, there's probably over 10,000 crypto channels right now.
Yeah.
You just type in crypto and you see like 100 different faces. So I think it's more of people have options. And when people have options, if we're not making our content like super entertaining, or they're not seeing like super profits like we were able to do last year, I think that's what's driving them away. That's what I think. I think it's the competition on YouTube right now. Yeah.
That is true. So with that being said, to get to the last question, because it makes sense right now, in everything that you do, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay consistent? Because like you just mentioned, like with YouTube, a lot of people see a lot of competition, and then a lot of people don't want to continue doing what they're doing. And even with investing, that's something where you have to have like, for lack of a better term, like the marathon continues mindset. So
Yeah.
how do you stay balanced and continue to do what you do?
I see that $1 million. I see it every time I wake up. I know life is not about money, but life is up there with air. I forgot the motivational speaker that said that, but life is up there like air, right? And I see it as this. If I don't do what I'm doing right now on YouTube, real estate loan signing, notary work and so forth like that, and I just work my 9-to-5 job, my 9-to-5 job is great. I'm not going to lie. And I thank God that I have the career that I have, because I'm over 100K a year, right? But I don't want to work my life. I don't want to work until I'm 60, 65.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps me going at the end of the day. I want to be able to retire literally, if not this year, next year. If not next year, before I'm 40. And I only have 5 years to go. So I need to push as hard as I can. 1, to make this money. 2, to teach as many people as I possibly can, because it's not fun up at the top alone. And to 3, I never want to have kids and then they look at me and say, Dad, all you had to do is buy 1 Bitcoin. Dad, all you had to do is invest in NIO. Dad, all you had to do is X, Y, and Z. Because we think about all of the opportunities that we've had from, I was born in 86, from 86 to now during the .com boom, Netflix, Amazon, Tesla. Why weren't we in a position to take advantage of that? And now I'm in a position to take advantage of that because of my fundamentals. I've built my foundation and so forth like that. I make enough income where I can invest, right? Steps, baby steps. Now I never want my kid to look at me and say, yo, what were you doing? So that's what keeps me motivated. And also looking at channels like yours, I'm really competitive. So looking at channels like yours, Keena, Jerome, it's friendly competition, and it keeps you going because you know that they're putting out content. Even Jack Spencer, Chris Sane, A3F Notary, Victor Chambers. These are the people that I look at on literally your channel on a daily basis. So I can be like, okay, I need to push harder because these people are pushing harder. Jack Spencer, he puts out like 3 videos a day.
And he was coming up when I was coming up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
he puts out like, it's making me cry. He puts out 3 videos a day. I'll be hitting him up sometimes. He'd be responding. And he puts up his how much he makes on AdSense. He's making like 10 grand, 15 grand, 30 grand in a month. So I'm like, if he can do it, if Obi can do it, if Keena could do it, if Kayla could do it, if Jerome could do it, Victor could do it, then I could do it. And I need to push myself to be better every day.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing for me. I want to buy a house, pay it off in cash, and have enough money to just, live my life, take care of my family, and also, like you said, help as many people as possible. I think if we didn't have like that genuineness to where we're actually trying to help, which I feel like whereas the space gets so misconstrued is where like a lot of people are just doing it to collect ad revenue. A lot of people are just doing it to get like the WeBull links and stuff like that. Then eventually you'll eventually burn out. Like I feel like that's completely unsustainable. Like there have been times when I've thought about, completely quitting YouTube because I'm just like, man, like I just had like 5 meetings at work today. I don't feel like putting out a video. And then I'm like, no, like there's people like waiting on me. There's people like depending on me. So I have to like, get these videos out and I can't let anybody down. And then I get back to it and then I actually do it. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I did that video. Like I actually like love the craft as well. Like you said. So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. And if I could say one more thing, I love the fact that you said what you just said, because at the end, I was literally going to put up a video, like my intro video, when you go onto my page, saying that at the end of the day, I don't necessarily care if I'm making like ridiculous amounts of money on YouTube at the end of the day, because like the people, I probably get like 300 on my lowest videos, or like probably like 2,000 after like 4 months on my biggest videos, right? So I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not a big influencer. However, if I provide that knowledge to that person, that's all I care about. And I want people to be able to, because I like, my neighborhood was horrible. We had shootings every day. We had to watch our backs.
I remember watching Everybody Hates Chris, and they're always Bed-Stuy, do or die. So that's what went off in my head when you said that.
Yeah, it wasn't ridiculously crazy, but it was crazy growing up. And I want the people that I grew up with and the people that came up behind me growing up at Bed-Stuy to look at my videos and then learn as much as they can from my videos so that they can potentially do whatever they need to make money, take care of their families, and break that bread, And if they do that, mission accomplished. Having 50,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, I know I'll probably never get to. However, if I can help that one person, I'm okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Lots of respect, Rich. Thank you for, taking the time out of your day to come on the channel and do this interview and just really share this knowledge with the people. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. And if there's ever anything, that I can do for you, just reach out and we'll make it happen.
Definitely, definitely. I'll let you end it after I say this. In order to be rich, you got to take action. You got to take action in order to be rich.
Execution. Thank you, Rich. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Obi. Peace.